Back at you with another one, and thank you for joining me for another preview video. And yes, I know I'm early, but it's not me being impatient. As much as I love whenever we play Manchester United, it's just unfortunately this is the only opportunity I can get this video done because my laptop's going in for repairs later on today. So without wasting any more time, let's look into this weekend's big game. So Arsenal are taking on Manchester United at the Emirates this Saturday, and we did see Manchester United drop points yesterday, despite this, many of their fans or pundits believing that they actually had a opportunity to win the title this season, which in my opinion, I just didn't believe it, because they go through patches like we do, and both of our teams are very inconsistent, and that's why I don't really have any faith when, with us winning a title or even trying to get top four, because yes, although teams around us are dropping and this season has been very unpredictable, but it's just we don't have any consistency ourselves, and that's what worries me. And likewise, United are just like that. They always, ollie out around every other game. So every time their fans get excited and they start backing Ollie, it just takes a few games, lose streak, and then that's it. It'll ollie out again. So for me, I just knew it was inevitable that they were going to break down and Ollie was no longer going to be at the wheel. And yes, it's not, set in stone that they're out of the title race because they lost against Sheffield United. I don't know. Ollie might have changed them mentally and it might have just been a one-off blip. But from what I've seen previously, it's not really a blip. And that now leaves them second in the table, with Man City currently first with one game less. And in terms of us, we did see yesterday Chelsea did drop points. However, via goal difference, they are above us, and we do have teams below us like Southampton and Aston Villa. With a few wins, they will be above us, and that might put us back to 11th. However, in saying that, is it really achievable to get top four? Yes, because as I said, this season's been very unpredictable. Teams dropping points here and there. You just never know. However, for me, my only thing is that we ourselves don't have any consistency. Well, I'm hoping that, things have changed and now things have gone for the better. And this is just not us in good form, and this shall sort of sustain for the remainder of the season. But with that being said, what I did do yesterday is I teamed up with a United fan, Matty, and his links will be in the description below. And what we did was a combined 11. I would have loved to sort of done a video. However, as I mentioned, my laptop's out for repairs and I just didn't have the time. But in terms of the combined 11, this is the team we agreed with. And as you can see, Bernd Leno is in goal. That's because David De Gea, as you sort of seen yesterday, he's been more prone to this calamitous mistakes, this sort of playing out from the back. He's just very error prone. So we both sort of decided Leno in goal. Wan-Bissaka because Bellerina was never going to get in, and Cedric has only looked good recently. And but by the way, we did sort of say the caveat was it was only based on this season alone, so not from just overall, hence why Aubameyang's not there and Laka's in the team. Harry Maguire, because despite what many people say, I don't believe Maguire is a bad defender as many people point out. Yes, he cost 80 mil, but I've always said put a competent, fast-paced, partnership next to him and Maguire will look fantastic. Gabriel, because do I need to say anything more than he's won 3 consecutive Player of the Months? Easy as that. KT, because KT is probably the best left back in the league, along with Robertson. I might be biased, but that's just my opinion. In terms of the deep midfielders, Pogba, Partey, and I think that's just quite obvious really. Attacking midfielder, Bruno Fernandes, and he will be one to watch out. And he usually does he always sort of rescues United, doesn't he? Even though there are certain games where people might sort of say he's had a bad game, and he did have a bad game when we played him at Old Trafford back in November. So I'm hoping more of the same from Bruno Fernandes. But likewise, you can kind of see he is a game winner, and he did sort of beat Liverpool out of the FA Cup. So he's one to keep an eye on, and hopefully he has another quiet game. In terms of the front three, we've gone for Rashford, Laka, Saka, and I think that's quite a decent, balanced team. So earlier on in the season, when many people slagged off Arsenal and sort of said Arsenal have the 15th worst squad in the league and all of that nonsense just to justify Arteta's poor performances, how have I agreed with a United fan, a team that's pretty much equal in terms of United, who are currently sat second, and us, who are mid-table? And that's for me because we do have good players, and I think our fans tend to kind of, you know, underestimate what they can do. It's just sometimes we have great players as individuals, but collectively they just don't play for one another. But hopefully, you know, they can be in sync this weekend and we can go and get that victory. But that's the combined 11 we've decided. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with that, or maybe I was just a bit more biased, pushing more Arsenal agenda on the team. But I think that's a fair team anyway. But moving on to this weekend, the team I would like to sort of see played, I've gone for this team here, and I have gone for Bernd Leno in goal, obvious reasons. I've gone for just Cedric as my right back because I don't ever want to see Bellerina ever again, unless it's out in a, you know, catwalk out somewhere in Paris, Milan. I do not want to see Bellerina on a football pitch. That's not his domain. That's not him. So for me, Cedric, play. Holding, yeah. Do I need to say any more? He's going to be here long term. Played a decent game against Southampton, and I don't want to see David Luiz, and I keep saying that. I would reaffirm it constantly. David Luiz is not going to be here next season. Don't play him. Gabriel, for obvious reason, he's for me the best centre back at the club, and he needs to play. And yes, you might say, oh, but he looked a bit shaky the other game at Southampton in the cup. Yeah, but remember, he came back from COVID. Even Arteta himself has said he's not been feeling 100%. Give him some slack, but I know Gabriel will turn things around. So Gabby gets in for me. KT, obvious reasons. And yes, I know last time when we played United, that pivot of El Nene and Partey worked so well. However, Xhaka has been in fine form. He had two clear-cut chances he created. That first opportunity for Laka in the first minute, and then the assist for Nicolas Pepe. So I think with this rich vein in form, you can't drop him. Likewise, Thomas Partey, because he's a superstar, and he's head and shoulders above everyone at Arsenal in that midfield. He plays. Smith Rowe will play because I'm not sure, where Odegaard is in terms of match fitness. Remember, he's had very little game time at Real Madrid recently. Also, how many training sessions has he had with the squad? Has he built that chemistry yet? So for me, this is a massive game, so let's not risk it and play Odegaard. So Smith Rowe starts in for me. Front three, because they all scored and they had a great performance, I had to hesitate there because Laka for me didn't have a great game, but he got a goal and assist, and what more can you ask for? Yes, I know Oba, might be in contention, but for me, with everything that's going on with his sort of personal life with his mother, I just think maybe if he's not at that, mindset yet, just don't play him, because I think sometimes there are more important things in, more important things in life than football, and family always comes first, especially when it's your own mother. So for me, Oba, take as much time as you need, and hopefully we can go out and get that victory for Aubameyang. But that leaves us nicely on to the comments from the last vid. So Will Burke says, Saka, what a player, would you ever do a video on him? Yeah, of course, I'd love to do Saka. I've got plenty of time for Saka, and I think, yeah, that's something I can do, Will. Hopefully once I get my laptop back, and hopefully they don't take too long. Alex Baker, I look forward to seeing Odegaard play. He wants to move here permanently, I see. And as for Bellerin, well said, man is a joke. If Odegaard doesn't want to move here, then that's fine, but you best bring your friend Erling Haaland as well. That's the condition we need to apply. You want to move here and stay here permanently? Yeah, we're happy to do that. but bring your mate Haaland over as well. You know, let's get some sort of deal in place. But no, on a serious note, I'm gonna sort of save my judgment and sort of see Odegaard in the Premier League before I sort of say we should sign him permanent or not. In terms of his signing, as I said, I'm happy. I think he will provide, you know, some help and take some burden off Emil Smith-Rowe's shoulders at Arsenal. So for me, it can only sort of work out well. Whether the deal should be made permanent, we'll sort of see based on his performance. As for Bellerina, the less said about him, the better for me. Tom Green, I think this is his comment about Arteta not being backed. He goes, "Yep, that's exactly what I meant. I feel he has constraints with the board, but if he had more freedom, he could buy bigger and better, so they need to go." Yeah, to be fair, I've always sort of maintained that with the board, they're all obviously going to be very tight, and any manager coming in at Arsenal is always going to have that issue. As for Arteta, yes, he's not had the funds, but then there are certain things that you don't require funding that you question in his managerial sort of skill set, like his poor man management with some of the players, applying favoritism, some tactical decisions that didn't work, like for example at Tottenham by having too much of the ball and playing right into the hands the game against Leicester. However, in saying that, in the last few games, maybe it might just been a change of personnel, but I have seen improvements. But then for me, certain things I still question, like why doesn't Balogun get game time ahead of Nketiah? Why is Bellerin our number one right back when Cedric played much better than him as both a right back and a left back, but Bellerin is still number one? It's these things here that makes me, not really back him 100%. But thank you for the question anyway. We've got NI says, a game I actually enjoyed for once, but what's with Arteta and Willian? Why was he near the pitch? Arteta, mate, loves Willian. He loves Willian. No, if I'm honest with you, I think Arteta, is so stubborn. He doesn't want to hold his hand and say, you know what, guys, I messed that up. So what I think he wants to do is continue to play Willian into form until he can tell people and say, you know what, guys, I told you, and that's why I signed Willian. But that's for the comments anyway. In terms of my prediction, I reckon we're going to go and beat him again. And I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Arsenal, a narrow 2-1 win. And hopefully the boys, prove me right. In terms of the post-match game review, if I don't receive my laptop in time, I'll get something sorted anyway before then. But until then, as always, please continue to like, subscribe, and leave any comments in the comment section below. Until next time, take care, guys.